there, Tekko attendees. My name is Caitlin, and I am the fashion show supervisor here at Tekko 2025. I am here today with Fee, the designer of DykeMint, to give you an inside scoop on their creative process, where they find inspiration, and what it's like to be a designer in the world of Japanese fashion. So thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate it.
Oh my God, absolutely. This is literally my new favorite con ever. Like, this is one of the best con experiences I've ever had in my 10 years of going to con and my 5 years of doing fashion. So I really am honored and humbled that you and Alexis brought me along to be a part of Tekko this year.
Of course, we're so happy to have you. We really appreciate that you love Tekko, so as we all do, as well as our staff, everyone in the staff. So yeah, so let's dive into it. So what can you describe your brand aesthetic?
My brand's aesthetic, when we're talking about aesthetic, it runs the gambit. When we're talking about like kind of what it is as a whole, DykeMint is a sustainable, size-inclusive, slow, anime-inspired, pop culture-inspired streetwear brand. But we don't like to pigeonhole ourselves besides the maximalism of it. You know, you'll see a lot of colors at our booth, but also, we have a whole rack of neutrals. We go grunge, we go goth, we go cottagecore. We've done hand embroidery, hand stoning, hand beading. We like doing all hand processes, whether that's airbrushing, screen printing, HTV, and whatever aesthetic that piece, because it's all sustainably thrifted clothing that we make our clothes from, because no fast fashion.
Yeah.
We don't like new textiles.
Yes.
So whatever the piece is giving, we kind of either go with what the piece has is giving to us in its history, or we subvert it and create something completely new.
Yeah.
Old lady floral jacket. Now it's punk DIY hardcore vest, or we lean into it.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yes, no, that makes sense. That's really cool. And like, you've definitely explored like a lot of different aspects of fashion, like doing a lot of hand stuff, a lot of handwork. So that's not seen as much anymore in this industry of fast and manufactured fashion.
Yeah, a lot of people choose to go with like sustainable and ethical manufacturers, and that's really great. But it was with the whole tariff situation going on, it was just like cool. I don't deal with any of that. The only people burdened by the manufacturing process are me and my wife. Everything we do is made by ourselves, by hand. We're just going to Goodwills, going to thrift stores, getting donations from people, seeking free things out, going through dumpsters, cleaning, washing, sanitizing, and reviving patching things up, de-staining things, and giving life to things that were ultimately deemed unworthy to be worn anymore, or just totally cast aside.
So like just a labor of love.
Yes, truly a labor of love. And not only a labor of love for the clothes, but a labor of love for the fandom community. I think people in fandom are the most passionate and creative people in the world, and DykeMint is a love letter to them. I really believe that they deserve to feel good and have like luxury, nice, cool looking clothing of things that they like.
Yeah, exactly. That's awesome. So can you briefly describe where you get your inspiration from?
I get my inspiration just a little bit from everything. It started a bunch as anime, but then I love video games and stuff like that. Baldur's Gate 3,
Oh, yeah.
So whenever I get stuck on something, like my favorites, you'll see a lot of Hunter x Hunter and Killua, and you'll see no Naruto, because it's just it's when something's so personally dear to me, and that comes easy. But then if it's too sacred, Steven Universe, that I also have trouble where you'll never see me have a Steven Universe piece, because it's just it's almost too hard to make. How do you build off of perfection like that? So it's really just what's inspiring me. How can I put a sense of humor into this? Like my Daunted on pants that say, "Where are my balls?" Things can be really funny, or things can be sophisticated and serious. Like I'll see a tartan blazer, it's oversized. I'm like, that would be a great, amazing Nana dress, because the whole Vivienne Westwood punk revival, British punk invasion, and just really play into that.
Yeah, and it's great to see more animes also being incorporated in high fashion society, pieces too.
Oh my God, yeah, Gucci and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Dolce & Gabbana, and Jujutsu Kaisen. I mean, Steve Aoki debuted that 2025 spring and summer collection for his brand Dimmock. It's a whole One Piece collection.
Yeah.
And then DykeMint at New York Fashion Week. We had some Daunted on.
We'll talk about that next. So.
Not as big.
We could talk about it. As you kind of mentioned, you debuted in New York Fashion Week. What was that like? What built up to that moment?
It was absolutely insane. It was a partnership between Plus Ultra Entertainment and My Studio Couture, two businesses, one Studio Couture run by Raquel Clark, and then she co-owns Plus Ultra Entertainment, which is like an anime like event company. And she has previous experience in like the CFDA fashion world, doing like the fashion shows, and she really wanted to bridge the gap between like high fashion and pop culture, and that's where you got the show Pop Couture. And she liked my stuff. We had a little bit of a relationship. I put some of my pieces in their retail space of their studio in National Harbor, and she put together this amazing show, got me on board, and it all came together in 28 days.
Wow.
Not her show, my collection, and being a part of it. Quite the crunch. 40 pieces, 15 models.
Yeah.
It was an insane labor. I mean, like 16-hour days, day in and out. We found it in December, and then we had to fly out February 3rd.
Wow.
And like late December.
Yeah.
Didn't start.
Yeah. So you only had a couple weeks, really.
Yeah.
Whew. That is, I just from like coming from working on cosplays and stuff too, and I try to do the con crunch, as we know. It's definitely takes a lot out of you for sure, but I can't imagine
The fashion
20-piece collection. Yeah.
No, it's totally, the con crunch is real, but the experience was absolutely amazing to just be able to, I don't know, it's not like legitimized every single brand. I mean, you don't have to go to New York Fashion Week to like be this like, amazing independent brand, but for us it was really like, because we're so humorous and we're so playful and fun and colorful, especially colorful, being a non-binary butch lesbian in the streetwear space where like men are super dominated in that space where it's like, oh, everything has to look clean and slick and the anime references have to be subtle. We don't do subtle. We'll do different aesthetics, but we won't be subtle. So it was really nice to get to do that and be like, I need a 6+ model for one of my pieces, and then get to put that on New York Fashion Stage, like real bodies, real people, like ready to streetwear, but like elevated enough to like, with the lens of the New York Fashion Week show. It was a really cool challenge.
Yeah. So is there a piece in your collection that you're especially proud of?
Oh my goodness. A piece in this collection. I really have been into all of the bottoms and the skirts, because it's really hard to find interesting enough for me to thrift and then upcycle and Frankenstein, like things like that. But I found a bunch of really fun skirts. And so I've been really into like hardware is the new thing I've been doing. We've done screen printing, building our own screens, airbrushing, and so we now are doing like grommets and chains and hardware and stuff. So we have a bunch of skirts that have this sort of element onto it, as well as like the sublimation patches and the sewing and the screen printing. But if I had to say right here, because I don't have those on me, I mean that piece from New York Fashion Week, it does get all of the flowers that it deserves. It took like 350 hours, but in a very short amount of time. I was hand sewing on Christmas Day. I was hand sewing on Christmas, on New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, and just trying to get this piece done first before I did the rest of the collection. And then a similar piece that's going in the Tekko Con fashion show is this kind of print that I'm wearing. It combines screen printing and airbrushing, and with this specifically, we put this very clean DykeMint print on first, our new graffiti logo, and then masked it over it, and then did our 44 big screen print, where it's like, it's kind of going off the edges here, but I love the look of all of her prints. I like the aesthetic of it. I like how it's, again, that maximal, like you're using there's no negative space. All edges of the garment. And even when you're printing it on something like that's 5XL and there's that negative space, well, you have airbrushing to like fill those gaps in and still make it work. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes total sense. That's really great. So these are all fun, exciting pieces, and I know everyone's going to look forward to it at the fashion show tonight. But one final question for you today. What advice would you give to new designers trying to break into the industry?
People ask me this quite a bit, and I give two big things. One, start doing it. Like a sewing machine is gonna break the bank on you for $99. And like I used a $99 Brother sewing machine to make my New York Fashion Week collection. You don't need anything fancy. You just need something that works, and that that's not crap. You don't need a $40 sewing machine's not going to do it, or like a $40 airbrush is not going to do it. Like when I bought my first Cricut to do screen printing, to like put vinyl on the screens, because I didn't know anything about the chemicals of exposing. So I was like, oh, I'll try it with vinyl, and then I can also heat things up with vinyl. Just try like weeding designs and doing stuff like that. And that cost like $350, and then the Maker 3 came out the next week, and I was like, oh damn. bam, I just bought the first iteration of this machine, and then the next one came out. That happens to me quite a bit. When I have my laser engraver, I was like, oh, I should get the M1, and now, the new thing, the new really small F1 has come out the next week, and it's way better, and oops, can't return it. So it's really about like doing your research. What do you want to start with? If you're going to start with something really small, I just recommend sewing. Take 2 shirts apart, sew them together. You don't even need a machine. You can do hand sewing. You can do embroidery. This entire piece is mostly just embroidery floss and hand, because you can't run that through a machine. So if you have the patience and you have the time, you have the dedication, go on Pinterest, look at the styles that you like. I don't own a dress form still. Dress forms are incredibly expensive. I pin on my wife, or I pin on other people, or we look at measurements. We just use the measuring tape. We make alterations on people. You don't need all of the biggest and fanciest equipment. You just need the drive and ambition to, one, put yourself out there, and to just do it. I saw somebody make a My Hero Academia thing with heat transfer, and I'm like, I could do this. It's the gay audacity of it, you know?
Exactly. Yeah. Well, so thank you so much for that. I hope that helps anybody who out there who's trying to also become a designer, and maybe they are inspired by you. So.
Oh yeah, my last thing is everything's a remix. There is no original thought. There's no that's especially when people are like, oh, your designs they're derivative of something else, and I'm just like, yes, but I don't think anybody's doing what I am with it, with these IPs in the way that I'm doing it, and nobody will do it in the way that you want to do it either.
Exactly.
As long as you're really remixing, that's what it is. It's transformative.
Yeah, your own hand, your own spin.
Don't feel like you're oh, I'm just copying somebody else. We're all borrowing and learning from each other, and just look at other people's artist practices.
Exactly. Cool. That's all the time we have for today. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to catch this year's J Fashion Show on Saturday at 6:30 p.m. only here at Tekko 2025. You won't want to miss it.